We are continuing with our 49ers roster countdown, and we are up to number 80. And we have wide receiver Taysir Mack. He's interesting, okay? We're going to go through everything about him, but let me kind of bracket this entire conversation with this. Sometimes when you're watching film and diving into players, you can't always write down what it is that they're special at, but there's just something there. And that's Taysir Mack. It's a quote-unquote it factor. Like, is he fast? Yes. Does he have size? Yes. Is he catch everything? Yeah, he's got pretty good hands. But there's just something. Whenever I watch him, I labeled him as a better football player than wide receiver. He just happens to play wide receiver. But he belongs. He's a football player. When the lights come on, he gets it done. And again, I don't know where the best spot is for him. I like this kid. I think it's going to take some time, but if he can cultivate some confidence and figure out where he belongs, slot outside, whatever, he's in a really good spot because the 49ers do have no clue who their number 6 wide receiver is. So, like, legitimate opportunity to make his way onto this roster. But let's dive into some background information, okay? So, Taysir Mack, wide receiver. He's going to be wearing jersey number 18, which I like that look. He is 6'2", 190, okay? Which, again, unique, right? Because he's a taller, leaner wide receiver. He's 23 years old, entering his rookie season, born in 1998. I need to quit saying the age and the birth years because it just makes everybody feel older. But he's 23 years old, so young guy, and he's from Brooklyn. Played high school ball at the Grand Street campus, the Fighting Wolves in Brooklyn. And with Brooklyn players, like, you don't want to stereotype a whole entire city. Dude's tough. He's wiry, 6'2", 190, but it shows whether he's blocking, whatever. This dude is a football player. Now, he was a 3-star recruit by Rivals, committed to Indiana. So he went from Brooklyn to Indiana, redshirted his first year. 2017, as a redshirt freshman, he played in 12 games, started 8 of those, finished with 23 catches for 310 yards, 3 touchdowns. After that, he transferred back to the East Coast, went to Pitt, where he was going to stay the remainder of his career. Now, as a redshirt sophomore, played in 12 games, 7 starts, and again, 22.3 yards catch per average. That was second nationally, and tops in the ACC. This kid. He's a deep ball threat. Doesn't have like top tier speed. He's a 4.4 guy. He's got speed, but that's not why he's successful deep. He's successful deep because of very long arm. Think Brandon Ayuk type body build with a little bit less muscle definition, but tracks the ball, attacks the ball. Long-armed, 6'2", wide receiver. That's what he is. He's a deep threat guy, almost like a Trent Sherfield, in his role. Probably not near as fast as Trent Sherfield, but longer. Now, 2019, his redshirt junior year, played 12 games, started 9 of those. So you can kind of see he's fighting his way up. He's a borderline starter, but again, he has a role. 63 catches, 736 yards that year, another 3 touchdown performance. His average dropped to 11 yards. They kind of changed what they did. 2020, redshirt senior year, they got a COVID year, so an extra year there. Played 8 games, started 4, finished with 23 catches, 305 yards, 3 touchdowns again. 2021, his 5th year. Actually, 6th year because he redshirted, then got the COVID exemption. He's been around for a minute now. Played in 8 games, started 7 of those, 27 catches, 461 yards, and stop me if you heard this before, 3 receiving touchdowns. He never was the primary guy, and I don't think that's really his role in the NFL. He's a back-end depth roster piece that if you have a vertical passing threat, which I think the 49ers do now, all right, now you're cooking. So he received his bachelor's degree in media and professional communication. So if he is a player that can work his way into the starting lineup, would really love to see him get some opportunities behind the mic at press conferences just to see. But, that's what he studied. And probably one of the most common themes with the 49ers draft class and undrafted free agent class It's intelligence and academics. They really want players that are intelligent, awareness, and all those things and experience. Not many injuries at all that I could find on him. Now, going back to his high school days, the New York State Sports Writers Association, they named him Class 2A All-State, smaller school in Brooklyn, and was the Brooklyn Player of the Year his senior year when he had 66 receptions and 1,210 yards, 16 touchdowns in 1 year. Dude was off the charts. Led his team 12-0 mark in a city championship. Yeah, he was all over the place and had a great junior year as well. 13 touchdowns as a junior. Now let's look at his metrics. 40-yard dash, runs a 4.47. He's got speed. Speed check, right? Now, is he Deshaun Watson or, Will Fuller burner? No. But again, he doesn't win that way. Like, he's not, watching his film, he's not running away. He's not blazing past people. Even though the speed shows, it's much more of, okay, he gets his guy beat by a step or two and then makes a heck of a catch. Tracks the ball extremely well deep. Broad jump, 122 inches. That's pretty good. So a 10-2 broad, if you look at it that way. Vertical, 36 inches. You're 6'2", you got long arms, 36 vert, pretty dang good. And he uses his height. He uses his length very, very well. So again, kind of my write-up for him, the things that jumped off tape: strong-handed, long arm, deep threat, decent blocker. You play wide receiver for the 49ers, you got to block. The Brooklyn background, the Indiana background, the Pitt background, all very tough, all very run-oriented types of places. It's a mentality that those three areas will cultivate, and I think that translates whenever I watch his film. Better football player than wide receiver. It just has something about him. It's not his route running. It's not his hands. It's not his toughness. It's just there's something. Like, whenever he gets the ball, it's like, ooh. He's got some. He can play slot, can play out wide. Not sure where he's going to fit or what that's going to look like. Again, this is rookie year undrafted. Taysir Mack. So best case scenario, win that wide receiver 6 spot. That's best case, and it's possible. Now there's 6 or 7 guys fighting for that wide receiver 6 spot. I think 1 through 5 is pretty shored up with, Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, Danny Gray, and Ray McLeod. I think those 5, they're pretty cemented. 6 spot, who knows? Now, will the 49ers keep 6? It's possible they can only keep 5. But whoever makes that 6 spot, worst case, practice squad. But, man, you might make that 53. And then, special teams contribution is going to be a must. But with his size and speed, shouldn't be an issue. Could be a gunner, could be on kick return, could be on lots of different things. So, most likely scenario, probably going to finish in that kind of 7 to 10 wide receiver range. In which case, he'll be released and probably a 50-50 shot of being brought back onto the practice squad, because you're going to probably keep a veteran wide receiver on the practice squad and a young wide receiver on the practice squad. Could he be that young guy? It's possible. There's a lot. There's a lot of guys there. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I really do. Again, sometimes, I wish I was a smarter man and I could say, oh, yeah, this is, what he does well and what he doesn't. I'm telling you, the more and more I watch, the more and more I read, there's just something about him. There's something that stands out. So thank you to Josh and Anthony, the producers of this series. We're going to keep grinding. That's number 80. Hopefully you guys are joining. Give us some feedback. Let us know if you're enjoying this series. The whole idea is to educate the fan so that during training camp and preseason, everybody, them all. And it just makes the fan experience so much better until we get to those roster cut downs in August, which are the least favorite time of the year. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it.